Record. Okay, thank you everybody for coming to this call. We are going to be talking about doTERRA as a business, why we have chosen to do that, why we love it. I am Kelsey. Thank you guys for joining on Instagram and for joining on Zoom. And on my computer, I'm going to be sharing a couple slides. And I want to introduce my friend Kari. She is joining me. She is my doTERRA leader. And so I come to her with all kinds of questions about this business. And so I'm excited for you guys to also get to just benefit from hearing about her journey with doTERRA. So in this call, we are going to be talking about our story, and you'll get to hear a little bit about how we got started with the business. Why doTERRA, like what's different about this company and why we would talk about this company. A couple testimonies of people that have used the products and maybe done the business and have loved it. What the work consists of, why, or what does it mean to do the business? So when we talk about like, yeah, I represent doTERRA and I talk about essential oils all the time. So what are we talking about? The many paths that can take in the business and where the business can take you and your family, why systems matter. So how we have things that can help you get plugged in and make your life easier as you're doing the business. And so, yeah, we'll just get started with our stories. So I'm just going to talk for a minute about my story so that you guys can hear a lot about Kari's story because she's been doing this for a long time. So about 5 years ago, I was struggling with an autoimmune disease. I still have an autoimmune disease. But about 5 years ago, I really started wanting to dig a little bit deeper and figure out if there were things that I could be doing besides just taking medicine, that is essentially a Band-Aid for the problems that I have. And a good friend suggested trying some essential oils. And she introduced me to doTERRA specifically, and I loved everything she gave me. But honestly, it was a huge buzzkill to find out I couldn't get any of that in India. And so I started using some of the products, but would, buy a few things, pack them, take them, and then run out. And it was just like, oh man, I wish that I could get this in India. And I knew that doTERRA's quality was really good. So I didn't want to just buy anything from anywhere. In 2020, I learned that doTERRA was making plans to launch to India. And so things just started becoming a little bit more practical for me to incorporate the products and the oils into everyday life. I was like, okay, it's coming. And then in 2021, as the market has just gotten closer and closer to opening, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I can not only start getting my products paid for as I do this business, but this could be something that could help all my friends in India as well. And then I just got really excited about building a business here with doTERRA. So here we are in 2020, and I am just really loving getting to get my family healthy, get myself more healthy. But then also I'm excited to bring more of my friends in India along for the ride. So that's my story. And now you guys get to hear a little bit more of Kari's story.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and share a little bit with you guys today. So my journey started over 9 years ago, and that makes me seem really old. When I was thinking about just going that far back, my journey really started when my husband and I decided we wanted to start trying to have a child, and it didn't happen very quickly. And so that kind of sent me into this whole, I need to figure out what's going on here. And I realized like it really does matter what you put on it in your body. So that's kind of what started my story. And then when she was 9 months old, I brought essential oils into my home because I wanted to try them. Somebody shared about them online. And so that was just the tool that I was looking for. I just used them for everything, super effective. Like I know many of you have experienced already. And so I was not open to sharing with people though. I would share with them organically, but didn't want to do classes, things like that. So I think it was just a total God thing. He kept pushing me. And I finally just said, yes, I'm going to do it. And I taught my first class. And so over the next 3 or 4 years, I really just leaned into what he was, had before me, and just helping the next person and teaching a lot of classes. And I was able to pay off all my student loans, which were over 100,000 in value. And I thought that was never going to be possible. And then I replaced part of my income and was able to leave. And just feeling super grateful just for that. And I just kept taking that next step and was able to help hundreds of people in their health. And really for me as a pharmacist, what it was is that I didn't really believe in what I was doing anymore. I found that the prescription count had gone up so much since I first started working in the pharmacy when I was 16. And I just had this feeling of, what am I doing with my time and my energy? And I'm being away from my family. And so I really decided one day that I was going to start working for something I believed in. And even though I still had to work at the pharmacy, I worked nights and weekends and mornings, whenever I could, lunch breaks. And so now I'm just so thankful that I get to do this from home. I get to help people really, truly get to the root of their issues in their health and do it in a natural way. And so I feel like, for me anyway, I never thought I was like this big dreamer of a person. I showed up to work and I tried to do a good job, but I think really deep down inside, I wanted to do something different, and doTERRA helped me unlock that. And I'm just super grateful for that. And I'm excited for you guys to learn more about the company and the opportunity, so that you can do all that he's called you to do. And I really feel like doTERRA is an excellent vehicle for that. So let's share more.
Thanks for sharing all that, Kari. I love your story. So we are going to talk about 3 different things that will really just help us understand why doTERRA, who doTERRA is. So first, we're going to talk about the products, and then the people, and then the pay. So when it comes to the products, I feel like essential oils and just like wellness companies in general sometimes can be unregulated. And so when you say essential oils, the thing that pops into someone's head can be like across the board, like totally different things, right? When it comes to purity and quality. What I love about doTERRA is it really is the way I used to think about this company in regards to like other companies is I would be like, it's just kind of sciencey. Like they're always like doTERRA people are always talking about like studies and like using sciencey words. And I was like, it always seemed way over my head. But the more I dig deeper into it, the more I really appreciate that, because the people that started doTERRA were like, no, we want things to be real and legit and pure and have high quality. And they are posting more scientific studies than many other companies. And so I love that. I love that it's sciencey. And it's the only company that I know of that doctors and hospitals are comfortable using. So when I go into my chiropractic office in America, doTERRA is everywhere. The doctors just feel really comfortable using the products. It's built on the principle of absolute purity and potency. So even when you go back and like learn about how the company was started, the people who started doTERRA were not willing to budge on quality and purity and potency. And that was just like the pillar of what they built the company on. So when we talk about the products being safer, cheaper, and often more effective than typical approaches, when you look at like medicines that we take over the counter or prescription, a lot of times what's happening is scientific like studies are able to see like, oh, this natural product works really well, or this thing that came from nature works really well. Let's synthesize that thing from nature and mass produce it so that it can help people in the form of a pill or some kind of drug. And so what we're doing with using essential oils is we're just cutting out some of that process and going straight to the thing that all the drugs are formed after. And so the reason that it can be safer, cheaper, and typically and more effective is because that's what a lot of our drugs that we take these days are actually made from. Here's a couple of testimonies of people that have just loved the products. So this one mom is talking about a Tri-Ease capsule that she gave to her son. And Tri-Ease is a mixture of lemon, peppermint, and lavender oil. And And I guess he was struggling with a rash. And she said within using it, one time, she was able to just see huge relief for her son. And if you're a mom out there, like, I feel like anything that gives your kids relief is just like, yep, I'm in. Love this stuff. And so, yeah, lavender, lemon, and peppermint oil just mixed together. And she was a believer. And then this next testimonial is my story 100%. Someone was struggling with migraines, and she tried the past tense blend. I used to take Tylenol like so often, which I don't know, Calpol or acetaminophen here in India. I used to take that around the clock because I would get such bad headaches. And again, a friend gave me past tense blend, and it has been my go-to when having a headache for the last 5 years. It's so good. When it comes to the people, there's kind of a couple different ways you can look at the people with doTERRA. So first of all, whether you're a doTERRA customer and you're enrolled as a member, or you're doing the business, you get the benefit of other people that are using doTERRA products. And so you get plugged into a community of people that know way more about doTERRA than you do and than I do. And so when I was able to get wedged into a doTERRA community, anytime I had questions about the products, or anytime I have questions about the products, like any day now, I can get on and just ask, and other moms, other people that are using the products can just tell me about their experience. Or if I have questions that I need to answer for a customer, I can ask, and they're always super helpful. So there's that side of doTERRA that's just amazing. It's just like this built-in support group that you can be in to help you along your journey, whether you're a customer or doing the business. But then there's also a lot of people that are behind the scenes making doTERRA happen, all the way from the farmers on the ground that are literally helping the plants grow, that are harvested, that become essential oils that sit on our shelf, to the people who harvest everything, to the people that bottle it and that kind of thing. And again, doTERRA just cared a lot about things being ethically and sustainably sourced. Which, yeah, I just think speaks volumes for the integrity of the company. It empowers on both sides of the bottle. So the people that are actually harvesting the plants are being taken care of, and then they're making sure that we're taken care of by saying like, hey, we tested this bottle a crazy amount of times, and you're getting something that's actually good. Fair on-time payments and job generation globally. So the way that doTERRA finds farms is doTERRA is going to go to a country or a place and find a place that's already growing what they're looking for, and they're going to empower locals. So they're going to find a mom and pop farm and say, hey, how can we come alongside you and help you and your family owned business, and going to help generate more generational wealth for that family. And so I love that it's, yeah, empowering on both sides of the bottles. Not necessarily like buying out families' farms and then they're becoming employees, but really empowering the locals, which we love. This business model connects us with others globally. So there's over 120 markets open right now. Here's a little map that shows a lot of different oils that doTERRA sources and where they come from. So like I said, they're going all over the map and finding where are the plants that we need to be harvesting, and how can we empower locals in that country, in that place. So you guys can see India on the map. Sorry, Instagram, you're not able to see the picture, but maybe I can post it after this. And then the pay. This is kind of the fruit of doing the business side of things. And I love the way that this is written. The gift we share and what we gain in return. So because we care about the products, because we know the products work, because we use the products and we want other people to know about them, the benefit is we also do get to gain something in return. What I love about the way that the business model is set up is doTERRA has one of the highest retention rates when it comes to people using the product. So that retention rate is about 65%. So I feel like what that means is someone places an order and they're really likely to want to come back and use more product, right? Like, there's not a ton of people who buy a bottle of oil from doTERRA and then think, I didn't like that. Most people are like, I tried it, I love it. What else do you have that can help solve some problems in my home? And so we are really helping people. And most of the time, people are actually using the products and learning about the products and then just wanting to share that more and more. It is a privately owned, debt-free company. And so I couldn't figure out why people talked about that a lot. When I first got started with doTERRA, I was like, cool, like, kudos for you. You didn't have any debt. Like, I just didn't really understand like why that's huge when it comes to integrity. But then as I really started thinking about it, I was like, okay, sometimes with companies, there's a ton of like, you have to recruit all these investors to be like a part of what you're doing, but then you owe something to those investors to go back to them and share like, this is how it's going. And then if the investors put pressure on you, like maybe you start cutting corners or something, you know? And I was like, oh man, it actually is huge that they could have done this without having people helping. One, so that speaks volumes. But then I'm also like, okay, they didn't have to think through like impressing anybody or cutting corners or anything like that when it came to who cared about what they were doing. They were able to just, with conviction, stay on path and do what they wanted to do when it comes to creating a new company. And then there's about 12 million customers worldwide. So this is kind of what I was referring to earlier. 12 million customers worldwide with only about 10% of those people doing the business. So it's not a bunch of people that are like, you know, buy more oils. It's like, there's actually just a lot of people that are just customers and only a small percentage of the people are doing the business. So again, I feel like the product and the pay are very closely linked together when it comes to how things work. This is a quote. Let me see if I can make this go away. From Kayla, she says, I no longer fear illness because I'm confident in natural remedies. And with the resource of having powerful, pure oils at hand, we're able to support our bodies to work the way God made them to. So I love that. She felt empowered with the things that she was taught in probably education groups that doTERRA offers, just learning how to use natural things, that she wasn't afraid when her family was sick. I love that. And then this is my friend Melissa. She says, my life's work as a nurse has always been helping people during a crisis. Now I'm able to help people get healthy and never end up in a crisis. I always get to do it. I also get to do it from home and not spend any more time away from my family working for someone else. The personal and financial rewards are something I never would have been able to find anywhere else. So for Melissa, she, as a nurse, you know, she signed up to help people being a nurse, but was just, getting frustrated with the fact that she was always helping people when they were in crisis mode. So now she gets to spend her time educating people on how to use natural products in their home that could help them maybe before they get to a hospital or before they have to go to a doctor, which is amazing. And Kari is going to talk to us a little bit about some of the practicals when it comes to the finances behind doTERRA. Kari, I'll pass you the mic.
Definitely. So this is just a little graph that shows how whenever you do help people, start helping people and sharing with people at whatever level you want to, you get rewarded for that. And so it also shares, you know, how much time you want to put into this, because what I really love about doTERRA is that discover the possibilities is what this slide is titled. And there are a lot of possibilities. It just depends on what you want to do, what works right for you in your season. Even there's seasons to life. And I love that it's flexible for that reason. And I honestly remember when I used to look at a graph like this and think, is this like make believe? You know, I want to be presidential diamond. You know, I want to be blue diamond. Sure, I want that income, but I just never really, honestly, maybe you are a big dreamer and you do have like big goals. I honestly, being real with you guys, I never thought that was possible for me, but I just kept taking the next step. And then I realized it actually is possible. What it makes me think of is that, like, if you just follow where God's calling you, he's going to take you wherever he wants to take you. Like, we don't always have to have this huge goal and these huge plans, right? Just taking the next step, honestly, is where I found a lot of success, yes, but also a lot of contentment, because I don't feel like I constantly, have to live up to this big goal. I just simply want to be obedient with where he's calling me. That's what this chart kind of brings to mind when I think about my story. But you can go to the next slide. So this is actually a chart that I made of my doTERRA journey. So it starts all the way back from 2013 and goes up until 2020. And you can see that there's a huge jump between 2016 and 2017. And this was when I was able to leave my pharmacy job. And I just think about how much mentally changed for me. And sometimes that's reflected, in dollar amount. Sometimes it's not. But for me, I had worked very hard over those first 4 years. And sometimes my pay didn't reflect that. And that's just kind of what happens when you're starting something new. But I just think about just being faithful in the little things. It really paid off. And I just attribute this all to the Lord's work, but obviously we have to show up and be obedient in that. And I'm just incredibly thankful that I did just take that next step for all those years, and was able to leave a job that I never thought I'd be able to leave. I always thought I'd have to work at the pharmacy. It was never something that I really thought was possible. So I'm sharing that with you to say, hey, if you don't think it's possible either, just take those little steps in faith. And you just never know. You just have to rely on the Lord's leading and do your part. So I love looking back on this and just seeing what a testimony God's faithfulness is. You can go to the next slide. So I wanted to share just a few of the business benefits, because sometimes when we hear the word business, it can seem a little like, oh, I don't know, starting my own business sounds scary, and honestly, if I would have thought and realized what I was doing when I first started, I don't know, I might have said no. But I just think about how organic this whole process can be. I think sometimes we have in our mind it needs to look one way, but I just love that everything about this business is very organic if we will just get out of our own way and let it happen. So first off, we have excellent consumable products. Like, these are not products that it's not like a handbag or even makeup that you're not going to need every month. Like, there's so many different products that are consumables that I use every month that I was buying from somewhere else, and just simply replacing those with a more natural, better option was like a no-brainer, and is for so many of our customers. The compensation plan is generous. If you like to research those types of things, I never did. I'm just over here, just doing my own thing, and it just happened. So it can work both ways, but if you really look at other compensation plans, doTERRA's is very generous. It really is set up in a way that we all support each other, right? Those up under us, like, we want to help them and we want to build more of a team atmosphere. It's really set up for that, which I love. Kelsey already mentioned the retention rate. That's because the products work and because there are so many different uses for them. And so replacing things throughout your home is going to help with this retention rate. Residual income is not something I ever had as a goal. Again, you can probably gather that it really just fell in my lap, but residual income is such a blessing. Residual just simply means that it's renewing every month. You're not trading, hours for dollars like you would at a traditional job. And that's definitely something to work for. I've heard so many stories of, I had this, illness, or I had this, my mom got sick and I had to take care of her, and I wasn't able to work, but yet my paycheck kept coming in. And I also just think back for me personally, like in 2020, when the whole world shut down, I didn't have to continue. I didn't have to leave my home and go to work. I was able to continue to work at home. And also, my kids were obviously at home. So that was just a huge blessing for my family in particular. I'm definitely about the health mindset and the wellness mindset, and so is doTERRA. And I think that's why, I've been doing this for 9 years, and you just see people kind of going to different companies, right? You might see oh, my friend's doing this, and then next month they're doing this. I just think that doTERRA's mission is solid, and it lines up with such an overall health and wellness lifestyle, versus just use these oils and everything's going to be great, right? No, they talk about diet and lifestyle and how important that is, and that's really important to me. Low cost, basically no overhead. That cost is really incredible when you think about starting your own business. Obviously you saw from the chart that you can do as little or as much of this as you want, and pay off a little debt, get a few extra spending dollars each month, or you can literally replace your income. And you choose your environment. I actually love working from home. It's not ever something I thought was possible, but now that I'm home, I absolutely love it. So you can work in any environment. You can take this on the road. You can have hours and work with people that you choose. So all of these things are definitely benefits that I'm so thankful for that doTERRA has. Next slide. Okay, so how do we add value? I love this model. Kelsey already mentioned, like, we provide people with an experience before we ask them to buy. I think that's important. We want that's what, to me, took a lot of pressure off me, myself. Whenever I first got started, like, I don't have to be a salesman. You literally just need to help people have an experience, because the oils sell themselves. That's why we often lead with sampling. Whether you're in person and somebody has a headache and we're going to talk about past tense, maybe Kelsey passes them her bottle and says, hey, use this. She's already providing them an experience, and she doesn't really have to say anything. They're like, hey, where do I get this? So I love that we provide them with that experience first, and then we teach. This is a really big piece that's missing in a lot of other models. I have often heard, well, I have this other brand, but I don't know how to use it. Maybe they got it off the store shelf. Maybe they enrolled with another company that's similar to this, but really education wasn't put at the forefront. I can promise you that there is endless amounts of education that doTERRA provides us. And even within our own little team and community, we just want to make sure people know how to use what they have, because there are so many different uses, and just taking full advantage of that is really important. Of course, then we help people enroll and get their own account so that they're empowered. That's kind of the whole goal that I've always had, is I want other people to know, like, and honestly, not to need me all the time, and for them to feel empowered to go and order their own things, and to learn, and to have the resources they need whenever something comes up in their home. And then, of course, that goes into support. We really do. The community that Kelsey mentioned was one of the biggest things that I was like instantly attracted to, because whenever you're looking things up on the internet, you're like, I have no idea if this is legit or not. And so we can go in this community and ask a question and literally get responses within minutes. That to me was really, it was like, wow, this is a gold mine. Next slide. Okay, so a little bit about the work. I already mentioned we provide experiences with the oils and products before asking for the sale. That continued support and education is really at the forefront. And so this does help to keep that retention rate, because if people are constantly learning how to use what they have, and even about different products and how to use them, it really does help them, obviously, to live this natural lifestyle and feel empowered in that. But of course, it also helps them to try new things and reorder what they have. We definitely have some great systems in place to to really help people where they're at, and help them to thrive with the gifts and talents that are individual to each person. I really love that. And sometimes this is a double-edged sword. Like, maybe somebody comes in and they want a specific system to follow, and it's just cut and dry. But oftentimes it's like, just do whatever you want to do. They're like, whoa, I need a system. We have both, honestly, but I really love that you can make the system work for you. And I'd encourage that. And then obviously you choose your goals, whether it's just a little bit, whether it's a lot. We're all here to support you. I know that I always tell people right up front, this is your journey. It's not mine. I'll be here to support you, and I'll run as fast as you want to run, but it's definitely something that is going to need to be your pace and the way you want to do it. Next slide. Okay, Kelsey.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure I share a little bit about Founders Club. So when doTERRA opens a new market, they have something that's called Founders Club. And this is for kind of the first people that get started in a new market. And so they will pick a certain amount of people to hit a certain rank. And kind of the first people that hit that in the new market get a percentage of the annual revenue in that market every year. And so it's just an incredible opportunity that doesn't last forever, right? Because once a new market opens, people are going to run after this goal. And so for the people that are go-getters and are excited about the India market opening and wanting to just really go after this goal, there isn't a better time because we are literally like so close to the market opening. We have products that are already labeled and bottled and almost ready to ship. They're still working out a few kinks in getting the food grade things through customs, but y'all, like this is like the best thing to run for. If someone's thinking about doing the doTERRA business, like start yesterday because Founders Club is cool. It's a cool opportunity. And so I'll just give a little bit more detail. So for India, they have decided that Founders Club is going to be for the first 40 people, and the first 40 people that hit gold rank for at least 3 consecutive months in a calendar year will earn 1% of doTERRA's annual revenue in India. And so those people are going to be like, they're going to work hard at the beginning, and then and they'll keep working hard because they enjoy doing it. But at the same time, like they're going to just get an annual bonus just for hitting founder that doesn't reflect their like necessarily their work they're putting in every year, if that makes sense, because of the way that the residual income works. All their hard work at the beginning is going to keep paying off year after year after year, which is, yeah, just a really awesome opportunity. So we wanted to make sure that we shared that because it is like on the brink of being go time for that kind of stuff. Okay, so now we've got why systems matter. So just kind of going off of like what Kari was saying, where do we go from here with you guys, people that are interested in doing the business? The systems that she's referring to is we have intro classes. So some of you guys maybe have even been to one of my intro to oils classes. I offer those a couple times a month. And so keep watching my Instagram and keep seeing when I'm going to post those, because those are really, really great. Like if you just want a holistic view of what are some of the top oils that you need to know about, why would you use them, how would you use them, those I talk about that in intro classes. We're going to have continued learning. So there's going to be continued ways to learn. Last week, I did an exercise and oils class. And so some people got to come to that and learn about like, oh, okay, like how would I use oils in that regard? And then there's going to be just, yeah, continued programs that you guys can have access to. And what's cool about this is it's helpful for you and for you personally learning about oils and how to use them. But kind of what we were referring to when it comes to the support that you have as a team, these are also things that you get to plug your customers in. So like when I host a class, when you're on my team, like you get to invite all of your customers to my class and I get to do the work for you and we get to serve each other. Or if someone else on the team is hosting the class that week, then I get to recruit to that. And then I get to kick back that week and just encourage and love on my people too. So the systems are to support you and your personal learning, but also really great for your customers. And then lastly, we just want to say thanks for coming to this. This is really fun for us to talk to you guys about. We can probably answer there's probably questions that were sparked from some of these things, like, okay, she mentioned this and I want to know more about that. So please reach out if you have questions for me or for Kari. We would love to keep talking to you about this. And we are going to host a class on Wednesday, the 18th. At 8 p.m. India Standard Time. And we're going to be talking specifically about why doTERRA's quality of the oils are different from other quality oils. And so I know that's huge here in India. The concept of oils is not a new concept here. Sometimes in the States, when we talk about essential oils, people are like, what's that? But I feel like the cool thing about India is already so natural. And so many people here already know, but we want to make sure that you guys know how to simply and easily articulate how and why doTERRA's oils are different, and the quality is outstanding. So we're going to host a class specifically for that again next Wednesday, October. Where am I at? May 18th at 8 p.m. India Standard Time. So keep watching my Instagram or message me, and I'll make sure you get a personal invite to that. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll end this.
Did you guys have any questions? Those of you that are on live here? Thoughts, questions?
Okay, we're not like
Good to
on
see you guys.
Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'm good. We shut it down.
Okay, I'm curious, how did the booth go in Pune?
Oh yeah. You know, I haven't heard any specific things from it, but I think, oh, I'm still recording.
It is recording.
Oh, I thought I hit cancel.